Yo, what's poppin', guys? You got your brain on here. Back at it with another video. Now, this video is going to be a nice intro to the building. If you can't tell from the deck of it, what we're going to be talking about in intro to the building is the nice shadow deck that came up with a few, well, pretty much around the start of this edition, so it's like a few weeks ago. But I wanted to talk about it now because, like, I've done some like pretty nice things with it. I've also, accomplished some stuff with it. It's not what I hit GM with, so I can't really be like, I hit GM with this, whatever, because I decided I was gonna keep it. I said I was gonna go ahead and do something different for that. However, that video will as you know, it's gonna be a video, but that will be covered in a different video. So this deck, as you can tell from the deck, it is a shadow deck. However, it's not like any shadow deck you've seen in the tournament, or even like ever, honestly. It is a nice mid-range shadow with reanimate hybrid. So let me go ahead and quickly show you guys the deck. So in order to understand why I wanted to play this deck, you have to understand there's just some things about me they have to understand. One is I really like dragons. Two, I also really like nice value style like decks or whatever. Three, I really love my boy Fafnir. Now, again, like, special shout outs to Fafnir because he was actually, if I'm not mistaken, like the very first video I uploaded to YouTube when I started uploading actually had Fafnir in it and was actually about Fafnir because Fafnir, in my mind, was a very underrated card. Hell, even now, well, underrated card in his prime. Underrated card in his prime. I mean, obviously, he's not gonna talk about now. But this one, corpsewyrm Fafnir, actually crazy, actually ridiculous. I love this guy. So I decided I was gonna go ahead and build a deck around it. Like, literally, the second I saw it in Altersphere, I'm like, yeah, we doing this. It's gonna happen. But of course, at the time, or I guess even like still now, when you play Shadow, in order to play like longer Shadow decks at the moment, you literally either have to play Reanimate or you have to play Arcus. Now, many people will go ahead and play the Arcus thing because admittedly, he's not bad in Arcus. Like, literally, it's one of those, if you drop Fafnir on someone, they have to kill it because if you don't kill it, you're gonna get Grimraid. Or sorry, not Grimraid. You're gonna get buried and you're gonna die. Or, well, he's just like 8/10 and you just never get rid of him and he just kills you. It's like, yikes. Or you can play it in Reanimate, which again, like I said, that part's not bad. But I decided I was gonna go ahead and go for like a nice thing of my own where I added in parts of Reanimate and just like parts of the nice Arcus style game plan as well. So yeah. And so let me go ahead and just break down the cards because each card has a different purpose in the deck. It's definitely something that I talk about. So the first one is Goblin Fighter. So you might be wondering, why Goblin Fighter, Andrew? Well, for one, Belinus has rotated from a rotation. Like he rotated in SFL, Star Forge Legends. So your pool of 2-drops is much lackluster than it was in the past, and as well as the fact that Pure Heart Singer has also rotated. So Goblin Fighter actually serves a nice purpose in that he's both a 2-drop, but he also gives you cards. Now he does generate cards for you instead of pulling cards from your deck. Now that might be worse and that might be better, obviously depending on like what you get. And what you get from him is actually not bad. Like, you get Goblin to curve out, and you also get Goblin Leader. Now the Goblin Leader, you might be going, but Nandra, that's a 4-drop. Shadow really doesn't play 4-drops that much. Well, the thing about the Goblin Leader, right, is I can actually use it as a barrel rate target, which we'll talk about more because it's actually like a very cool thing. You can also just play it on 4 because it's a nice turn 4 play going first if you don't have Orthros up, which is again something we'll talk about as we get to that. But yeah, the Goblin Fighter is just a very nice card. You can also go ahead and use either the cards you get off of it to ditch it for Fairy, which again, another big thing. But yeah. Next, we have Ephemera Sword Angel. So the Ephemera, you can actually play this as a 1-up. I've been started testing it. It is something I'm planning to test it in the future. But for now, I have it here as a 2-up. Now you might be wondering, but Nandra, why Ephemera? Like you're playing Shadow. Shadow always has creatures. Well, the reason why I wanted to play Ephemera is actually twofold, or really threefold. One, I really like Ephemera as a card because Ephemera is basically like Kahulin, but better. Well, but better / worse, because it's better when you're losing because it's basically a strong removal spell. But it's also better because you can just tempo it out at some points if you're winning, you have the board, and it's still just a 3/1. A 3/1 is actually scary as hell. And of course it can get bigger because you can evolve and things like that, which is very cute, but it almost never happens. But yeah. Also the third reason is because when I started making this deck, I actually started, well, a side part of why I started making this deck or whatever is because I know my boy Kiri has been like struggling with like Shadow or whatnot because like he doesn't really like Arcus, or really he doesn't really like mainstream things, but in this case he doesn't really like Arcus or whatever. So I really wanted this to be like a deck that he could like play, and I was like, yeah, you know, sure, like if I toss an Fafnir, that'll be like some like nice like Kiri nip or like catnip, but like for Kiri, in order to go ahead and bait him into wanting to play the deck. Spoiler alert, it did not work. Alright, next card, Gloomy Necromancer. So the Gloomy Necromancer, this card is also very big. 1, it's a 2-drop. 2, it's also a burial right card. 3, and this part is also important, it lets you curve perfectly with the Eternal Potion from Cerebrum, because the Eternal Potion is 5 mana and then this is 2 mana, so you can go ahead and you can actually both dump and reanimate your Mord on turn 7 all at once. Like, that play is a very big play, because like most people will know that you took Eternal Potion because if you don't play anything, but they don't know but they don't know that you're gonna like, if you like surprise reanimate Mord on 7 because they haven't actually seen you actually barrel rate anything yet, that's usually pretty manga-ass, and it usually catches a lot of people with their pants down. I was like, it's crazy. It's actually just like game winning as hell. I've done it so many times on stream. It's just like wins games. It's crazy. But yeah, but that's why I'm playing it. Also, of course, like I said, 2-drop, so you can revive it with Lady Grey if need be. 2 Orator of the Bones. So Orator of the Bones, it's a really annoying 2-drop. It basically gets you 2 shadows. It helps you fight on board. It's really sticky, so it works for Cerberus, it works for Orthos, it works for Lady Grey. The Lady Grey synergy is actually like ridiculous, because basically when you're playing Reanimate, part of the issue with Reanimate is that most people, they go like full on Reanimate, and I don't think full on Reanimate without like major help and adjustments and pushing will ever work in Shadowverse, only because like Shadowverse is a game where you need to fight on board in order to actually be able to like play, play whatever your like late game card is, or late game cards are, if you're like a scaling deck. Like for example, Mysteria would literally be nothing if they didn't have like things like Mithrand or whatever that both like stall and also like let you like progress your game plan, or like things like, say, I don't know, like Ramp Dragon or whatever, who have like Sybil is a great transition card. So basically the key point I'm trying to make is that like if you can't transition to the later stages of the game like smoothly and cleanly, you're going to die if you're playing anything that has like any kind of scaling, because you haven't actually earned that shit, like basically. And that's like a big thing for Animated or whatever, and that's why in my opinion you have to like make it like a mid-range deck. It's basically just gonna be like a mid-range sort of dragon that like plays like slightly less creature, slightly less top end, but can also play more ridiculous top end, and it can do it consecutively when they actually start like reviving stuff, which is like very cool. It's just a nice different direction to take it. At this point, you can just kind of like think, oh well, this makes perfect sense because he likes playing dragon, and this is basically just like dragon except different. Yeah, but that's why the Orator Bones. 3 Lady Grey. Obviously speaking, you're playing Shadow. There's no point to not play Lady Grey. Lady Grey is very ubiquitous. You'll probably always play her up until she rotates, because I can't imagine a world in which you somehow just get a creature that's so much is better. Like healing, drain, reanimate, get shadows, get money, get bit. Yeah, sure, it's great. It's perfect. Teferi. So I'm playing Teferi because at the time, well, and even now, I was broke. Also, I never really felt like Teferi was like good, just because like basically Fairy in a lot of aspects is like a worse Masa. I'm talking about Masamune, in the sense that like you can only play this one on 10. You can't cheat it out or whatever, because it literally says turn 10 as opposed to 10 mana. So also you can usually toss away 1, and you're playing Shadow, so you can usually find enough card draws to get a second one if need be, and just like hold in your hand or whatever. Otherwise you can just like hold in your hand, because most times you'll know when you need to like Fairy someone in order to like win the game. So yeah, it's just one of those cards like you really only need to see 1 of it and just like hold in your hand. Like you don't want 3 of it, because like if you have 3 of it, like you're gonna draw 2 of them, and one of them will be used as it's just like a generic vanilla 2-drop. It just like gives away information for free. That's like Monk-S. I don't like doing that. So 3 Manifest Malice. Manifest Malice, like I feel like I shouldn't need to talk about this card, but I probably should. Manifest Malice is actually ridiculous. Like actually just so good. Like, so one issue that Reanimate would have, so similar to like something like say Ramp Dragon or whatever, is that like, don't you get mowed down by aggro? Nope. because you have things like Manifest Malice, you have things like Lady Grey, you have things like Cerberus, like all of those things just like fuck with aggro so hard, it's ridiculous. Manifest Malice is no exception. Manifest Malice is just like very flexible removal, like actually so flexible. And this, well, it's flexible for like small early game boards. Like for example, versus tokens, Manifest Malice literally kills 2 tokens instead of 1, which is a very big deal, because instead of only getting rid of like maybe like 50% or maybe like 1/3 of a token deck's fighting power, no, you can get rid of 100% or 67%, which are both very big things. Actually, just like neutralize things, which you'll see in one of the games I play in the console games. One big Soul Hunter, honestly. So the big Soul Hunter, whatever, is literally just because, like, well, fuck Dragon, Kappa, and just because, like, there's alright. So in my mind, like, big Soul Hunter is one of those cards that you should probably have as a 1 of it, whatever, or maybe a 2 of it. 2 of it if you're playing Arcs, 1 if you're playing this, because I don't know, I just like it as at least a 1 of, just because, like, there are a lot of very big boys in the meta. Now most people will disagree with me on this one, but no, there are actually a lot of big boys in the meta. So basically, Big Soul Hunter, she targets literally any creature that has 3 attack or more that's evolved. That's pretty much a good portion of most of the good cards in the metagame. So a quick short list of like 10 different cards right now. Galm, Miranda, Zealot of Truth if evolved, Anne if evolved, I don't know if it's Poseidon, but yeah, Poseidon, Azutahaka, Prince of Cocytus, what else? Arcus, Cerberus if it's evolved, what else? Deilefi if she's evolved, Holy Winged Dragon, Barong, like so many. Oh, the Barong one is actually a very big one, but we'll talk about that at some point later. But yeah, like the key focal point here is that, yeah, like she's actually very good. Now you do and don't have the shadows to consistently do this, as well as like play Orthros and things like that, which like part of why I'm only playing 1. Now you can go ahead and up the count if you need to, if you're facing a very like dragon heavy meta game, but for the most part, I felt like most of my bases were covered, and this is just like a nice something I can play before I can play Fafnir that helps alleviate some of the pressure from like Poseidons and things like that. And that was like why I was like playing it. Also, she's just a 3-mana 2/3, which is like very good, because like it's like an ideal stat line for 3 mana, so it's like very good. 3 Fran, literally Fran, never leave home without it. Very versatile card. So one thing that I really like doing with Fran, if I can swing it, is sometimes I'll go ahead and play Fran to get the Attendant, but I'm not gonna play the Attendant until turn 7, which lets you make like crazy ass swing turns. For example, one play you can go for Manifest Malice. Go ahead and have 6 shadows, play the Fran's Attendant, have a 5/4 rush, play Eternal Potion, have a 7/7 rush, and the 7/7 comes back when it dies. Yeah, plays like that win games, because like it's a lot of tempo all at once. And now mind you, you did have to telegraph it somewhat, but it's not hard to telegraph it all the time. Like for example, things you can do beforehand is you can usually go like usually when I make this play, I usually make it on turn 5 if I don't have Cerberus. I usually go like Lady Grey plus Fran, which like really good, because you usually get back a 1-drop that's like sticky, you usually get back a 2-drop that's like sticky or just like, you know, annoying or things like that. So like for example, you get back either like Orator, Ephemera, what else? Another Lady Grey perhaps, like things like that. And it usually just like helps cover the bases perfectly enough for you to just like get away with the play. Additionally, you can go ahead and use it on your turn 6 if need be when you're playing your Ceridwen. Just help cover and clean up with Ceridwen in order to break the removal, in order to then go ahead and just drop the Mord and like win the game off that, because they have like nothing left for Mord. 3 Orthros, again, this is pretty staple. This is also very big because like this, right? So the combination of Orthros. The combination of Fran, Orthros, Cerberus, and then Ceridwen, like this is your sandwich. And again, that'll be a separate video. This is your sandwich for getting up Mord, because these poor women, they actually just mess with opposing mid game board states really hard. Like Fran removes pretty much like any creature in the mid game. Orthros removes 2 creatures in the mid game. Cerberus guarantees you have board and removes like 3 or 4 creatures in the mid game. Ceridwen, like, usually comes out right after the Cerberus. Your opponent has like no board, and she's just a 4/5, so they have to evolve into it, and that's probably their last evolve. And she also helps you get the Mordecai in the first place. Then you play the Eternal Potion. Oh, look at that! There's a Mordecai. You can't kill it. Oh, I guess you've just died. It's just very, very crazy. Honestly, like honestly, again, like like I said, like those 4 cards plus Lady Grey. These will be your reason for why you play Shadow. Just because like they're very. Oh, sorry. Not so much the Ceridwen, because you don't play Ceridwen if you're playing Reanimate. But yeah, like the Lady Grey, Fran, Orthros, Cerberus, like it's such a good like 4 card mid game suite that it just like helps you like coast through mid games. It's crazy. Yeah, but that's why you play the Ceridwen, because like I'm not playing So Deaf Reap Life, just because I don't know. Like, So Deaf Reap Life is like really, really good, but also really, really bad at the same time. Like, it'd be better if there were like more things in the mid game they could actually like reanimate and feel good about reanimating. But literally for the most part, like Shadow has only really gotten like fanfare effects for the last, I don't know, like good portion of time. And right now in this deck, there's literally only 2 cards that you would like ever want to reanimate, maybe 3. There's Death Mistress, there is Ceridwen, there is Mordecai, and in a pinch, and I think I've actually done this like once. There's also Prince of Cocytus, but the Prince of Cocytus thing feels like really, really bad. So does like pretty much like everything except for like more Death Mistress and Ceridwen. But yeah. Speaking of Death Mistress, so Death Mistress is a card that I like a lot. If you've like watched me play, I don't know, I guess there's no really good comparison for this. But basically, the reason why I like Death Mistress is because Death Mistress helps you just like cycle through your deck. Additionally, she's also an accelerate that also helps you. That's also a barrier, right? So in a pinch, if you don't have, it gives you redundancy for your Gloomy Necromancer. Because on turn 2, what I'll do a lot of times, I'll actually just like barrel rate this. Barrel rate a creature, any creature really, for the most part. Draw 2 cards, just start cycling through my deck. It helps you keep up. It helps you just like dig through a deck, find your Mordecai's, find your other stuff, and just like start popping off. It's very, very big. Like very rarely do I actually play this as a creature, but even when you play it as a creature, it's not bad. Quick side note: so you can play this creature on 9. It's a 6/6 stealth, so it's very, very hard to get rid of. And then you just like, oh, LOL, fairy on 10. So yeah, that's like 18 damage right there. 18 damage before you even do anything else. So if you hit them for 2, oh, well, congrats, they just died. If they don't have a ward, yeah, they're super dead. Even if they have a ward, you still hit them for at least 12. Unless the ward is like some like very, very big thing we just like can't get rid of, in which case, well, yikes. But yeah, like overall, very, very cool card. I actually really like it a lot. I'm actually really glad I have 3 of these animated now. Alright, next card, Prince of Cocytus. So, Prince of Cocytus, initially I was playing it because so part of why I was playing this because initially when I started making this deck, I wanted this to be like almost entirely centered on the reanimate aspect of the deck, and I wanted to be able to like excel Cocytus, then draw from my deck, then find a good Cocytus card, like for example Scorpion or something like that, and just like constantly revive Scorpion and just like smack face with it, because Scorpion is just like crazy. But for those of you who don't know, Scorpion Agreed is a 6 mana 7/6 Bane. Sorry, 7/6 Bane Ward. No, sorry, Bane Storm Drain. Yeah, Bane Storm Drain. That's crazy. Like, it's basically a good storm card, and that's like ridiculous. It's one of the storm cards that you can like safely play because it basically like pays for itself in the fact that, oh, well, it has drain attached to it. So your opponent, oh sorry, it's big and it has drain attached to it. So your opponent has to get rid of it. But even when they get rid of it, they usually can't hit you in the process, and they can't ignore it either because it just healed you. So you're probably out of lethal range, which is like a very, very cool thing. One thing I like about the Scorpion in particular is that 6 mana. Now I would have obviously preferred it to be 7 mana, and if it does in fact get nerfed at some point, that'll be really cool because you can just like go ahead and reanimate that over and over again. That's actually just like sexy as well. And that's just very, very cool. Now, other than that, they're amusing enough. There aren't actually like that many Coquettish cards to sort of go ahead and revive. So even though that was the case, I didn't actually end up like taking Prince of Coquettish out. I actually, if not mistaken, I think I added a second one in. I only added the second one in only because I really like what Excel of Prince of what an Excel Prince of Coquettish could do for you, because there are some matchups where there are some matchups they literally can't tech for in the metagame because there's either like not a good tech or if there is a good tech, it's such a bad card that that's just bad against the rest of the matchup, or like against like, you know, the rest of the matchups that you like play. So for example, playing Restless Shenna. If you're playing Restless Shenna, you have to have Amulet Banish, and there's Satunga, Falcon Grace as neutrals, and those are both shitty. And you would never want to play those. So, but if you excel the Prince, you can get Heavenfall, which is the 2-mana banish a creature or an amulet, draw a card, which is actually nutty as fuck, by the way. Actually, such a nutty card. Or you can also get the 4-mana 5/5 Storm, banish all amulets. This is actually even more nutty versus Lashana in particular, because it actually just like hosts the crap out of them, because they lose both their destruction of white and the destruction of black, and you take 5, which is like, wow, trifecta. It's just like very, very cool. And I actually like it a lot. Now, you might also be wondering, but Nandra, this is a 9-mana card and you're playing Shadow. How do you live to 9 to play it? Again, see the mid-game wall breakers of, you know, Orthrus, Fran, Cerderin, Cerberus, Lady Grey. See all of those, then come back to this and then realize that, oh yeah, you can actually play this on 9. There actually is in fact a game in the console games where I actually do in fact play this on 9, and actually just like end up like winning me the game. It's like very, very cool. But yeah, like very, very nice card. Very, very, very like flexible card here. Furthermore, and this part is also important. Prince of Coquettish is going to be a nice like tech card in general if your deck has card draw before you can play Prince, before and after you can play Prince. Like for example, you might notice that Dragon, Rune, and Portalcraft play Prince of Coquettish. It's not a coincidence. All three of those decks have a lot of draw when in certain conditions when they can like get it going or whatever. That guarantee they can either excel and or actually play Coquettish and just like get rewarded for it, because you'll be able to like draw draw well and actually mitigate any of the potential arguably quote unquote RNG aspects of Coquettish, and just guarantee they just have whatever it is you need, just like steamroll your opponent with the advantage. Next card, Fafnir. We already kind of talked about this, but I'm going to talk about this a little bit more. So Fafnir is very, very big for 2 reasons. One, I'm playing Shadow, so right now I have the element of surprise. Many times when you're playing Shadow, most people are going to expect you to be Arcus. So when you see the type of stuff that I'm playing, you're like, oh, what is he playing? What is this? And many times, a lot of people, if they don't think you have a Bahamut or something like that, they'll just like play very, very disrespectfully. Now, obviously, this is like excluding pro players to an extent, because obviously, like, you know, pro players will usually have like a kind of like respect or kind of like, you know, a premonition about these things, or, you know, like a gut feeling. So they usually just like won't be as disrespectful. But many times you'll just see people just like do like disrespectful things as hell and just like, you know, vomit their board. And I just like play Fafnir. The Fafnir blows up their board, and because they committed so much, the Fafnir gets me like a +5, and they just like never recover, and then I just get the win. A very, very funny example of this that happened on stream was a guy played. Right, so I had like, I don't know, I think I had like a 2-2, or maybe like I think I had like a 2-2 and like a 1-1 or something like that. And then the guy played went Poseidon plus Masamune to go ahead and clear off his units. And I just like dropped Fafnir on him, and he died. He literally died because he had nothing left. Like he had nothing left. He burned everything. It's like, yikes. Because Fafnir is a very, very difficult creature to get rid of. Like 10 HP is so goddamn much. It's crazy. Additionally, as a sub 4, if Fafnir as well as Death Missions, so both also conduits for your Fairy, so you can go ahead and use that to kill someone. I have actually done that a few times as well. Very, very nice. Very, very cool. The Fafnir in particular is slightly better than Death Missions because, like, he doesn't get, it's very, very hard for him to get cucked by wards. Because, like, in order for you to cuck him with a ward, your ward would have to have 10 HP. If you have 10 HP, that's like very, very manga-esque. Like literally, there's only like two situations in which you can have like a 10 HP ward for some reason. The current one is if you have a truce adjudication and the golem rolls like plus 7/7 on the golem itself, or if you have a what's it called again? If you have the 8 mana ward in Dragon, the 8 mana 7/7 ward in Dragon. If you have that, you have it like a buff for some reason. In which case you wouldn't be able to clear it off with corpsewyrm. But most times these two situations are obviously very, very rare, and they almost never happen. So yeah. But yeah, like the card's very, very nice. Also, the card looks sexy, so animated. I don't have an animated one, but I actually recently saw one on in a Discord, so I actually like really, really like that. So yeah, so I'll probably at some point if I get like enough like globes or things like that, or if I just get like I don't know like donations or something like that, I'll just globe one or two. But yeah, very, very cool card. And then lastly, Mordecai. So Mordecai, it was already kind of covered, but if it wasn't really covered, essentially with the Mordecai, this is one of those things in which like you're playing it because it's good because of what you're doing, but it's not actually, well, it is and isn't essential. Like for the most part, you gameplay wise, this deck is like decently flexible. You don't have to go for the reanimate game plan. You can just like play like good value stuff and just like play Satan, or you can like play reanimate, or you can just like again value stuff and Satan, or you can like do like a nice mix of both if you need be. But basically, the Cocytus as well as the reanimate portions of the deck, those are just like how you go over the top of other decks and do like some like unfair stuff. Because otherwise this deck's like, I don't know, I don't want to say like fair, but it's like decently fair, and that like it doesn't actually do anything that's like outstanding or anything like that, but it is just like consistent, just like getting off the ground running and just like doing stuff, unless you like draw like incredibly badly up, and even though I mean like really, really badly, but most times that like just I don't know, that just like doesn't happen. It's just like nice. It's also just like an overall fun deck to play. Now mind you, it is a bit expensive because you have what's this? 4, 6, 9, 11, 14. Yeah, it has 14 legendaries, so it's definitely on the more expensive side. 14 legendaries. Although technically, you can just go down to one of Satan. That's like fine. That's not gonna matter that much. Although I wouldn't recommend going down to one Fafnir, because like the Fafnir has been really, really big, because it actually covers the hate matchup very, very well. Most people don't play Lions right now. They're actually on like the Midrange Ekar thing, and Fafnir actually just like solos that matchup. It's crazy how good Fafnir is in that matchup. It's actually ridiculous. You wouldn't think it would be, but no, it's actually like really, really, because it's just so hard to kill. But yeah. So like this is the deck in a nutshell for the most part. It's very, very cool. I've really been enjoying playing this, and I'll definitely like try to go ahead and like play it, get some games on stream if I can. When I actually go back to like playing ladder in rotation, because right now I think I like started like grinding unlimited ladder right now, but yeah. But anyway, that's the deck. If you guys enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave a like. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you're feeling it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.